So, in Farming Simulator 25, when you are dealing with crops on your farmland fields, you are going to have something called a yield bonus. So in this video, we're going to be going through exactly how you can maximize your yield bonus. And basically, if you have your bonus set to 0%, you're going to just get 100% of your crop. Whereas you can get this bonus up to 100%, so it doubles the yield you're going to get. And there's a very specific way to do this. So first off, we're going to go through exactly how all of these machines in front of us work. And then I'm going to show you getting a 100% bonus on this field that I'm standing on. So ignoring the big guy on the far right hand side with the massive blue roller on the back, I've had to move him out of the way because he was set up to basically taking up half of the road. AI traffic got fed up, they pushed it forward, the tractor ended up on the field, and I need the field clear so that we can work on it. So starting with the tractor, you can see with the lime green front, what we have attached to the back of that is a mulcher. You need to go and mulch your field first, and mulching can only be done on crops that are going to leave stubble after the harvest. So you'll see what we're standing on right now is stubble. And then what we're going to do is the next tractor along to the left-hand side from the lime green front. We have a plough on the back of it. However, it's not just a basic plough. I've got a subsoiler. And what this is going to do is it's going to plough your field, but it's going to leave behind stones. The reason I've got a subsoiler is because it only leaves small stones. If you use a normal plough, there's a chance you can get the big stones. It takes a lot more work. Stones are not going to negatively impact your yield, but they are going to impact the amount of damage your equipment is taking as you're using it on the field. So then the next machine along is going to be the stone collector, and you're just going to drive that over your field like you do with any other machine, and it's going to pick up all of those stones that the ploughing leaves behind. And then what we're going to do is we are going to plant the seeds after. So I'm going to be doing canola on this field. And after we have planted it, we then need to roll it, we need to lime it, we need to fertilize it, and then we need to weed it as well. And you want to do it in that order. So mulching, ploughing, stone collection, then plant your seeds, then do the rolling, liming, fertilizing, and weeding. If you do the rolling before you've planted the seed, you're not going to get the bonus on the yield. And then the liming is going to give you a 15% bonus. You only have to do it every 3 harvests. But the first one will give you 15% yield bonus. Then the second harvest will give you 10%. Then the third's going to be 5%. So you're not going to get 100% yield bonus every single time. It's going to be every 3 harvests so that you can have a fresh set of lime down. Then with the fertilizing, you have to do 2 states of it. So we're not actually using a fertilizer, we are using manure, because that is going to, it gives us the ability to double down on what we're spraying. So that way we can get both states of the fertilizer set up in the field just by going over it once. Each state is going to give you a 22.5% bonus, so it goes up to 45%. And if you are growing rice, then you only need 1 state of fertilizer. And then when it comes to the weeding, if you are waiting until those weeds are large, you are not going to get the 20% bonus that it gives. So you have to deal with the weeds when they are small or even when they're growing. You need to get rid of the weeds as quick as you possibly can. So when it comes to the vehicle shop, what we are going to do is grab a large tractor. You can get medium and small, just put weights on them to hold them down, because some of the equipment you're going to have on the back, some of the trailers and stuff are quite heavy. But then if we scroll down in the shop, we are going to come to soil cultivation. You are going to need a mulcher. Then you're going to need a plough, or you can use a subsoiler like I'm using, so that we get those smaller stones. The ploughs are going to have a bigger sort of area that you can do, so like the width of the ploughs are much bigger, but the subsoilers give smaller stones. That's the reason I'm going with a subsoiler over a plough. Then you have stone collection, so you need a stone picker. And then under yield improvements, scrolling down a little bit, you're going to need a roller. And then for the liming, I use a fertilizer spreader, the only one that can do lime. If you look for this little icon down here, it's the only one out of the 4 that can actually spray lime and put lime on your fields. Then for the actual fertilizing, I use a manure spreader. I've gone with the largest one just because I've cheated money into the game and stuff, just to give you an example of how this all works. And then lastly, you are going to need a weeder. When you are buying your vehicles, do not forget to buy your manure. Don't forget to buy your lime, get your seeds and stuff. In order to get the manure, what you have to do is from the vehicle shop in Riverbend Springs, you have to basically come south, and you need to come down to this blue section here. You'll see it says manure, so it's literally just to drive around the corner you visit this place and that's where you fill up your trailer. So drive your actual trailer there, fill it up, and you're good to go. Everything else can be done from big bags and you can fill them up directly outside the vehicle shop. Okay, so I've just returned with the actual planter, the seeder. If you saw how many things I forgot and how many times I had to like take trips to and from the shop over and over again, you'd probably kick me off the farm. I always forget certain things within this game. So when it comes to buying a seeder, you need to get your normal tractor, and then if you scroll down and you come to seeding, when you're doing things like canola, you want to go into the actual seeder category, then you can buy one of these. This is the one that I bought. You'll be able to see all the crop types and everything at the bottom down here. And then you'll also need to buy seeds. The seeds you'll find underneath the category for seeds. I always buy the big bags. You literally just put seeds into the trailer itself. And then what you do is when you're in your tractor, you can change the seed type that you're laying. But now, if we jump into our mulcher first, we are going to mulch this entire field. And then I will come back and show you the next step of the process. Step number 1 is doing the mulching. And you'll see here just quickly, if we go to the soil composition and we go to mulched, you'll see that we've mulched like half of this field already. So it will change colour. Like this soil composition and this growth chart is really, really helpful. So make sure you're using this for every stage just to make sure you've covered the entire field. Okay, so if we now come back into the soil composition chart, you're going to see that the entire field is now mulched. So next up, what we are going to do is use the subsoiler and we are going to plough the entire field. So if I get into the starting position, I'll show you the stones being laid whilst we're doing this. So if we come back onto the map and we stay in soil composition and we click on stones, you're going to see that there are currently no stones. But if we unfold and we lower the cultivator, then as we start moving along and we start ploughing with the subsoiler, if we just do like one straight line down to the end, I'll show you the stones. You should be able to see the stones on the ground as we're going along. And again, stones are not going to affect your yield percentage, but what they are going to do is they are going to ruin your equipment faster. So now we've got the first strip done. If we have a look, you can visibly see the stones on the field. So if we go to the map again and we have a look, you'll see this massive row of stones. And that's exactly why we need that stone picker, because otherwise our equipment's going to get bashed to pieces. So what we're going to do now is we are going to jump back into the subsoiler. I am going to get the rest of this field done, which is going to take me a little while, but I'm going to get the rest of it done. Then we will come back and move on to the next step. Okay, so now looking at the map, you're going to see there are a load of stones on this field. You can leave this part, however, your equipment is going to be damaged a lot quicker. So what we're going to do instead of leaving it is we are going to jump into the tractor that has the stone picker on the back. We are going to get into position and we are going to remove the stones from the field. So now that it's unfolded, if we lower it down and turn it on, then what we are going to do, the same as any other bit of equipment, is we just drive over the top of the field, and that is going to pick up all of the stones. So I'll show you after we've done the first strip. So now, even though it's a very, very thin line, you will be able to see that all of the stones have been removed, besides this little one here that I missed. So what I'm actually going to do for the purpose of the video not taking so long, because this is taking a long time as it is, I'm going to skip the stone collection just because I've got cheats on for money and things like that. So the equipment, like damage, condition, doesn't matter that much. But if you don't want your equipment breaking, use the stone picker. However, if you're not too bothered, you're happy to repair at workshops and stuff, then go ahead and leave the stones as they are. And also, by doing it this way, you'll see that we're still able to get the 100% yield bonus, even having the stones still left in the field. So now we move on to actually planting the seeds. So in the seeder, I'm unfolding it and everything. I'm going to turn it on and lower it. And you're going to have to bear with me a second. I completely forgot about the time of year. So I'm going to have to go and basically speed time up, get to the right time to plant this seed. Okay, so now we're in August, we are able to plant it. So we've unfolded it, we've lowered it. So what we're going to do is turn on the seeder, and we are going to go around and plant all of the canola seeds. Okay, so now if we jump out of the roller quickly, you'll see that we have canola that is growing, Currently, we have a 37% yield bonus. So if we jump into the roller, if you have very, very small stones, so if we go again to the, once this has saved, if we go to the soil composition, if you've got yellow stones here, these can, like this roller, can push those back into the ground. And what we're going to do, this is an absolute monster of a machine. We are going to start the process of unfolding it, if it wants to unfold. Here we go. And then once this is unfolded, we're going to go over the entire field, get this all rolled. And then with the roller, if you do it before you plant the seed, you don't get the bonus. And I mean, the bonus is little. There's only 2.5%, but still is worth getting that extra yield. And again, using the map, if you go to soil composition, you'll be able to turn on the filter to show you what needs rolling. So you'll be able to see if you've missed parts of the field, which is going to be really, really helpful. So after this very little bit that we've got left, that is the entire field rolled. So then we move on to the next step after I've folded up this absolute beast and moved it away from the field. So you'll see now that we've gone from a 37% yield bonus up to a 40%. So if we now jump into the fertilizer spreader that I've got lime in, we're going to lime the entire field, and then we move on to actually fertilizing after. So if I get this into position, if we turn this around, we need to unfold it and everything. So you'll see that we get quite a lot of speed in this whilst we're dropping the lime. And you basically just want to cover the entire field with it, the same as everything else, pretty much. Okay, so as we finish up with the liming of the field, you need to be careful because it sprays it very, very quickly. You will more than likely run out on a field that's bigger than this, or maybe even a field similar to this size. So now taking a look at the field at the bottom right, you'll see the yield bonus has gone up 15% up to 55. So now what we are going to do is jump into the fertilizer. The reason I go with a manure spreader is if you look at the top left, we can press comma on the keyboard and activate the doubled application rate. So we're going to drive a little bit slower, but we're going to put down 2 states of fertilization. So if I get this truck into position, as a truck, tractor and trailer, if I get it into position, we unfold it and everything. First off, what I'm going to do is press comma, activate the double application rate. Then I am going to unfold it. And once that's all lifted up and everything, we're then going to turn it on. And as disgusting as it looks, we are spreading manure. We're going to drive very slowly, 5 miles an hour. But we are going to apply double, so we're getting both of those fertilization states. So looking at the map, still in the soil composition, if we come over to these random fields, you're going to see that 6, 8, and 9 are like darker blue, whereas 7 is lighter blue. The lighter blue means you've got 1 state of fertilization. The darker blue means you've got 2. So having that double application rate through the manure spreader, you've only got to do 1 trip through the field. And for every state you have, like for each state, it's 22.5%. So for both, it's going to be 45%. Except for rice, you only need the 1 state to get the full yield bonus. So if we take a look at the field, you'll see how much of it I've done. I'd say a little under half or around half. And yeah, I'm now down from the vehicle shop. I'm having to refill this spreader because with that double application rate enabled, it drains it so quick. So all you've got to do is park yourself up and then just press R. You start filling, you tell it what you want to fill with. Then it's going to start filling up your trailer. And then we go back to the farm and we carry on. So now the fertilizing has been done. If we have a look and let the game save quickly, you are going to see the entire field is dark blue, meaning it's got 2 states of fertilizer on it. So now if we go up and look at the yield bonus, you are going to see that it's gone to 100%. So it's fully fertilized. We've got the maximum yield bonus available. And you'll see that running around the field, we no longer actually need to weed it. There are, in some small areas, there are weeds. So what I recommend doing is, even though we don't have to do this across the whole field, if you just jump into a weeder, you go through the whole field, it's going to help you out. Because if you leave small bits and weeds start growing, then it is going to affect your yield. And you want to keep that 100%. Because if you do nothing to the field, you just cultivate and just lay your crop, you're going to get 100% of your crop. But obviously, you're in the farming business to make money. you're going to want to make as much as you can. And by doing all of these steps in the order that I've showed you to do them, you're going to get you're going to increase your profit as much as you can. That is fully maximizing your profit. So if I just go over quickly with the weeder, if we lower it down. So again, using soil composition, if you've got weeds on your field, you're going to see these different greens and eventually going up to brown when they're really, really bad. And when you have nothing there, you're okay. However, it might say weed and then in brackets growing. You just need to pay attention to the bottom right. And you'll see that you're not going to necessarily get every single bit of your field. You'll see, like here, the yield bonus is 97%. We turn around, it goes to 100, then 97. So it's a mixture between the two. But to get 100% yield bonus, to maximize that yield bonus, to maximize your profit, those are the steps you are going to need to take. Again, you will get 100% of your crop if you don't do any of it. You simply just cultivate or plow, and then you put your seeds down, you plant your seeds. So again, start with mulching. It can only be done on the crops that leave stubble after you've harvested. Then do your plowing. You can use plows, spaders, or subsoilers. I prefer the subsoilers because of the stones they leave behind. Then you want to do your stone collecting if you're worried about your equipment. If not, don't worry about it. Then you want to go and plant the seed. Remember to make sure you're in the right month for actually planting. Then you want to do the rolling. If you've got small stones on the field, you can push those back into the ground. If you do the rolling before you've planted, you're not going to get the bonus. It's a 2.5% yield bonus, but just make sure you're doing the rolling after you've planted your seeds. Then with the liming, it's a 15% bonus. You do it once every 3 harvests, and each harvest it goes down by 5%. So your first one's 15, second one 10, the third one 5. And then after the liming is the fertilizing. If you're doing rice, it's just 1 state. If you're doing anything else, it's 2. Each state is a 22.5% bonus to your yield, so it goes up to 45%. You can use the fertilizer spreaders, you can use the manure spreaders. I like manure because you've got that double rate. However, it does drain very, very quickly. I ended up using over 2.5 or around 2.5 trailers worth of manure just to do this big field. And then last but definitely not least is the weeding. If you let your weeds grow, they are going to affect your yield. So just deal with them straight away. And that is exactly how you can maximize your yield and get a 100% yield bonus in Farming Simulator 25. And what we are going to do is leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about this game in the comments. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you out. Thank you for watching.